open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Prime Time, Public Health is conducting contact tracing after a pair of employees from the Guam Power Authority test positive for COVID-19. Plus, the Guam Police Department is conducting an investigation after a man was found dead at one of the government's quarantine facilities. And good news tonight, as about $54 million in pandemic unemployment assistance will be released.
Hafide and good evening, everyone. The number of confirmed COVID cases continues to go up. According to the Joint Information Center, 14 people turned up positive out of 512 samples tested. 3 positive cases were with Public Health, 9 from DLS, 1 from GMH, and 1 from the Naval Hospital. 2 cases had recent travel to the continental U.S., and 1 case was identified in a quarantine facility. The rest are still under investigation. To date, there have been a total of 389 confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 5 deaths, 319 released from isolation, 3 hospitalized, and 65 active cases. 2 Guam Power Authority employees are confirmed to have come down with the coronavirus. Public Health was notified and is conducting standard contact tracing. GPA spokesman Art Perez says the agency is following all the required protocols to ensure the safety of workers and customers.
The employees are not are at home. They're at home resting, from what I understand, and you know, we've from the onset, from the beginning of this pandemic, it's been communicated and practiced throughout the authority to take whatever measures we can to manage exposure.
Perez would not confirm if the 2 employees are from the same section or whether their jobs are customer facing, but they have advised fellow employees to get tested if they're concerned about contact.
Aside from the 2 confirmed cases, we encourage all employees, you have testing available at Public Health. You can go to your private clinic. If you feel you've been exposed or you exhibit the cautionary symptoms as put out by Public Health, you're encouraged to go get the testing and just make sure everything is okay and then report that.
He says GPA has taken all recommended measures to ensure the safety at its Fadian offices for the public as well.
You can visit our business offices and see the measures that are in place. The hand sanitizers, the glass, the face masks, the social distancing, so forth. As I mentioned earlier, at every level within the authority, be it within the workforce and with the interaction with our customers, we take that very seriously.
He says customers who would now rather not pay in person can instead pay online or by phone. GPA was also not able to say if the employees got the virus at work or elsewhere. Meanwhile, Crest Pizzeria in East Hagåtña has closed temporarily due to a positive COVID-19 case among its staff. In a social media post, Crest said it's temporarily ceasing operations while it takes the necessary precautions. That includes mandatory testing of all staff, continuous sanitization of the restaurant. The posted statement concludes by saying the restaurant will resume operations once we have completed all safety measures. And Public Health is looking to ramp up its contact tracing and investigation efforts. As Jason Salas reports, the agency is looking at 2 programs that would expand tracing with the simple use of a smartphone.
Currently, the Department of Public Health is using what's called the eMocha app to help with contact tracing efforts, but the service is mainly to track confirmed cases and people who are at high risk, according to Public Health's medical director, Dr. Jana Manglotnya. She says their attention is now focused on containing COVID in terms of arriving travelers with using what's called the SARA alert.
That would entail, and we envision logging people into that system when they come to Guam.
According to the SARA Alerts website, the program would allow public health officials to enroll individuals who are ill or at risk of developing a coronavirus infection. It enables individuals to enter their symptoms daily, providing public health departments real-time insight to monitor and contain the spread of the virus. SARA Alert offers multiple access methods, including web, text, email, and phone calls.
The system itself does the monitoring for you. It will contact the people and reach out to them to say, hey, remember to log in whether you're having any symptoms or no symptoms. And so it takes the burden off of staff having to physically call you. And then someone monitors that daily log. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if we need to reach out and monitor and get you help, we can do it rapidly if we use that system.
The agency is also looking to partner with the PathCheck Foundation, which, according to its website, is a global community of organizations, researchers, health officials, and volunteers working together to build open source software, standards, and public health programs that help contain the pandemic, restart the economy, and protect individual freedom and privacy.
And in that one, it uses GPS in your smartphone, and it shows where all you've been. And if everyone logs into that system, then if someone becomes positive, then it will alert other people. It'll sort out where you've been to notify you whether you were in close proximity to someone who actually had COVID.
And while Guam's public health looks to go more digital, it still needs boots on the ground. According to Dr. Manglotnia, they're hiring more soldiers for the contact tracing efforts. And if you would like to enlist and help fight the battle against COVID on your island home, you're urged to visit the Department of Administration's website for the list of openings. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jason Salas.
And police are investigating a death at the Ocean View Hotel government quarantine facility in Tumon. The governor's press secretary, Crystal Paco San Agustin, says a 40-year-old Chuquis man was found unresponsive in his room on Tuesday night. He was transported to GMH where he was pronounced dead after midnight. San Agustin says the death is not COVID-related as he was swabbed and tested negative for the virus. She says he may have had underlying health conditions. Deputy Commander of Task Force SHIELD, which oversees quarantine operations, National Guard Major Pat Sanchez, says around 8 o'clock last night they noticed that the individual was not retrieving meals outside his room.
We asked the nurse to assist and go in and check the person, and they were found unresponsive. If the nurse at the site needs assistance, we would don any PPE that we may have at the site, depending on the level of assistance they need. Other than that, the nurse will take care of it. We'll call 911, and then they'll come in and assist as needed.
Sanchez says CPR was conducted and GFD was contacted before the man was transported to the hospital. His name has not yet been released. In other news, there's finally a revenue projection for the fiscal year 2021 GovGuam budget. The legislature's Office of Finance and Budget says despite the economic downturn brought on by the pandemic, the government will collect just 8% less than the current fiscal year. OFB Director Steve Guerrero.
And everybody has their 2 cents of what's going to happen, but nobody has anything concrete enough to say this is what it is. So we take all that information and we try to make the best we can to figure out how we can use that information to move forward. And after all the hashing and mashing with numbers, we've come up to a level of about $774,697,305.
Add another $208 million in special fund revenue, and the OFB says the grand total projected revenue is $983 million, a drop of about $68 million from the current year's projected revenues. The projections rely heavily on continued federal pandemic assistance funding and military spending. Finance Chairman Senator Joe San Agustin says the governor agrees with their numbers and they stand by the projection.
And then we took a look at what's been going on in Guam. And we came up with a very conservative number. And our number actually reduced the budget from what the governor wanted in January of 824 to 775.
Meanwhile, the Budget Bureau is tracking a shortfall of just $13 million by the end of this fiscal year. That's despite the plunge in tourism. Officials have said federal stimulus payments and unemployment assistance have helped make up the lost visitor industry revenues. Senators are scheduled to meet in session next week. By law, they must pass a budget by the end of this month. And there's a whole bunch of PUA money going out this soon. The Labor Department says more than $50 million worth of pandemic unemployment assistance will be mailed or electronically deposited. This includes about 7,000 new claims payments. GDOL paused last week's batch because it had to clear what Director David De La Sola said were a slew of fraudulent claims, mostly from off-island. This week's batch includes all of the cleared claims. The man arrested for the fatal shooting of Peter Rios in Mongmong this May pleaded not guilty during his arraignment hearing today before Magistrates Judge Jonathan Kwan. Juan Mendiola was indicted for murder as a first-degree felony and aggravated assault as a second-degree felony, both with a special allegation of possession or use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Mendiola waived his rights to a speedy trial. His next court hearing has not yet been set. And former Corrections Officer Darren Cruz appeared before Superior Court Judge Dana Gutierrez for a status hearing. Nearly a year ago, Cruz pled guilty to numerous felony offenses related to kidnapping, burglary, and terrorizing. In 2016, he was arrested for hiding in his estranged wife's home and forcing her and another man to go to a different location where he brutally beat the man for hours and threatened to kill them if they told police. Cruz has yet to be sentenced. Today, Judge Gutierrez issued another summons to client services to appear and provide an update to determine how to move forward. That's scheduled for August 12th. And a continued hearing was set for September 16th for former Guam Police Department officer Ryan Shimizu. Shimizu faces theft of property as a third-degree felony and official misconduct as a misdemeanor for allegedly stealing a wallet inside Familia Mart in Chalampago. The incident was caught on video surveillance. He is expected to enter into a plea deal with the government. Defense counsel Randy Cunliffe told the court that negotiations are underway with Assistant AG Sean Brown to finalize an agreement. Judge Alberto Lamarena had previously set trial for October 26. In Decision 2020 news, the Fanogi Coalition held its very first virtual political forum today with congressional candidates Democrat Robert Underwood and Republican Will Castro. Incumbent Congressman Michael St. was also invited, but 45 minutes before the forum started, he informed the coalition that he was unable to participate because of a work meeting. Dr. Michael Bibacqua began the forum by saying the coalition strongly believes that whoever represents Guam in Congress should be knowledgeable about the quest for an equitable political status because the Washington delegate will be one of the most important individuals in that fight. The forum allowed candidates to express and discuss their records, goals, and future plans for issues such as self-determination and decolonization.
There's a kind of there's two dimensions to this for me. One is there's a legal dimension, and that is that that legally the Chamorro people have the right to determine their future, and this was granted through a series of laws and primarily by the Treaty of Paris, and in a sense the Organic Act also acknowledged that it is the Chamorro people for whom political status of Guam is really attached to. But there's also a moral obligation. And you can see that moral obligation when people start talking about their status as an indigenous people, their status as a colonial people. That moral obligation, that moral impetus, I think, is also a key driving force. So there's two dimensions to Chamorro self-determination. There's a moral imperative, and then there's a legal standing issue.
My contribution and commitment to Chamorro political self-determination actually predates even my service to the government. It actually started right after high school, and I tutubon, and I ganyo gifyonas de Punton Ongit Santos. And yung senior haso ito na taponya, na malako siya si Senador Ongit and si Tito Talahi, while nagano malalago idos por gobyerno sa segundo gobyerno. There was a time when Tito Santos, who I consider, and no disrespect to the prior speaker, because I still think he's one of the greatest orators of all time, but in my humble opinion, having seen this gentleman up close and even worked with him from afar and even co-authored some of the things that went through his mind, Angel Santos, in my opinion, I had the tremendous privilege of working alongside the greatest Chamorro rights activists of our common era. I was his young adult leader at the time, and then from there, I even served with former Speaker Dr. Judy T. Wampat, who's equally as passionate about Guam's quest for political self-determination. And so that's just kind of a broad stroke of the kind of people I served at the time.
You can watch the forum in its entirety on the Fanogi Coalition's Facebook page. The group is also hosting another virtual political forum on Thursday with non-incumbent senatorial candidates that will be streaming live tomorrow at 10 a.m. More news right after this break.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Taco Bell's new grilled cheese burrito is filled with nacho cheese sauce and a delicious 3-cheese blend. And even more melty cheese is grilled on top. Introducing Taco Bell's grilled cheese burrito box. Order ahead and pick yours up at our contactless drive-thru.
After only a year and a half in Congress, Michael San Nicolas stands out for being one of 6 members in Congress that the bipartisan House Committee on Ethics is investigating this term. He also stands out for having the worst voting record this term, missing almost 52% of votes he could have cast for Guam. San Nicolas stands out for getting national coverage for himself and Guam on ABC News, The New York Times, Fox News, The Washington Post, and more. The investigation is examining if San Nicolas converted campaign funds for personal use, accepted improper campaign contributions, filed false reports with the Federal Election Commission, made false statements to government investigators, and improperly interfered or attempted to interfere in a government investigation. Here at home, San Nicolas stands out for refusing to comment on the investigations and not explaining how he missed so many votes. We can't afford to take another chance on Michael San Nicolas.
I'm Robert Underwood, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez was the guest speaker at the Mayor's Council of Guam meeting today, noting the need for expanded commodities distribution at different villages. They're also working on a solution for meals for students who opt for an online classroom.
We're looking at ways to ease the burden on the current operation by exploring the possibility of working with you mayors at the village level to assist us in terms of meeting the needs of your residents. And so instead of at a T10, at 2 or 3 designated sites, looking at a system where we have more than a few sites. So it doesn't mean that necessarily that every mayor's office, but certainly we can identify the areas of need, give people multiple options.
Mayors also voiced concerns for capacity to accommodate increasing need months into the pandemic and the quality of the meals. They also want to work on ensuring that students in every village have access to devices and Wi-Fi for the upcoming school year. And it's a national discussion concerning schools and safety amid COVID-19. Our Tomas Maglonia speaks to a school official and parents for their take as students prepare to hit the books.
Signs are posted, floors are marked, and tables pushed apart as campuses like Untalan Middle School approach reopening in an ever-changing climate.
I just want to reassure all the parents that the schools, just like myself, every other public school, they are going to be ready to welcome our students back to school.
Whether it's face-to-face, online, or grab and learn, protocols are flexible for the new norm.
There's always going to be the underlying question, what if? And I believe that as every other school, and so much my school, that when we are prepared and we have those measures and protocols in place, we can be able to take on any challenge.
Hitomi Sako is one parent gearing up her children for learning in the new normal.
But I bought a face shield for my child and mask, of course, mask. I'm so happy because a long time no school and they had an online, but not for the effective for the study.
Barbara Tudella's nieces and nephews are also packing their bags.
I think for a start, it's nice that they gave choices instead of shutting down completely.
She wants educators to know that they're thankful.
I just want to thank all you teachers. It's a lot of changes as well for them, and they still have their family to support and to think about. And I believe teachers are doing the best that they can.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Manglona.
A mobilization ceremony was held this morning at the Barrigada Readiness Complex for 73 National Guard members who will be deployed to Northwest Field for Sec 4-3 Task Force Guatya. The soldiers were joined by family and friends ahead of their one-year mission in support of Task Force Talon that operates the THAAD missile defense system. They will be providing security at the Anderson site. Adjutant General Esther Aggie gave opening remarks and thanked the soldiers for volunteering to serve during the pandemic. Additionally, Governor Leon Guerrero attended the ceremony and made remarks of her own praising them. The ceremony also included a yellow ribbon pinning and dog tag presentation. Groundbreaking was held for the Central Community Arts Hall in Sinahanya. The design will include 2,900 square feet of multi-purpose space, a small foyer, restrooms, and a second-floor control room that can accommodate about 100 people. Sinahanya Vice Mayor Rudy Iriarte said the project commencement was 2 years in the making. GURA selected the project for award in FY19 with U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development funds. Executive Director Ray Topozna says it's a $660,000 investment. The space would host some musicals and theater productions, collaborating with NGOs to also serve low to moderate income communities. 11 tons of trash were collected by 1,000 volunteers over the weekend at the Guam cleanup hosted by the Island-wide Beautification Task Force in partnership with GVB. The governor's office noted that items included some 200 tires and metals. Governor Leon Guerrero said while tourism may be at a standstill globally, this is an optimal time to restore our island's beauty and island pride. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio noted that solving the island's littering problem requires a multifaceted effort beginning with each of us. The cleanup was initially postponed due to a spike in COVID-19 cases. Coming up, we have details about the curbside farmers market. Don't go away.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
We have the power to improve the schools our kids learn in, the roads we drive on, the healthcare we receive, and the opportunities for more jobs. By responding to the 2020 census of Guam, we can uplift future generations by providing them with the resources they need to grow as a community. Together, we can make a difference. Respond today.
It's gonna look a little different in here. Your favorite spot might not be exactly where it used to be. Being next in line might feel a little less like next in line. And our smiles might come with a little extra shine. But McDonald's is ready to take your order as safely as we can.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist. Over 20 years of experience.
We are open to serve you at Cars Plus Guam. Need a quick service for your vehicle? Visit our express lane at Cars Plus. Done fast, done right. No appointment needed. Our service team is dedicated to helping you get your vehicle in and out of the shop and back on the road quickly and securely. Simply drop off your vehicle at our express lane driveway, and one of our service advisors will take care of it. Need a ride? Not to worry. We have a shuttle vehicle ready to drop you back home and pick you up when your vehicle is ready. Open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit us today. We are open to serve you.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, in case you missed it this morning, Bree and Chris spoke with the people behind the Curbside Farmers Market and how they're encouraging farmers to avail of CARES Act funding.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned USDA. Has there been any federal CARES Act program funding opportunities, grants, or anything like that available to farmers?
Yes, we do. With USDA, we also have the CSNAP, where the farmers would go in and they will be paid for their losses. This is up at FSA Farm Services Agency. They're located up at the airport. I think that old side of airport. Yeah. They're up in Tijan, yes. And so we encourage all the farmers to please submit your application. They are so willing to help the farmers. So if you're a farmer out there, listen up and please go see Jamie Weekly at Farmer Services Agency.
Mike, we had a comment here. Do we have any program to register as farmers to get involved in your co-op? So how do people sign up and become members of the co-op?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So before this whole thing started, we had 40 farmers, and now we're way above 60. We have 60 new farmers currently within our listing. So that shows the amount of trust and the capacity that we've built up already. So it's we have our own farmers application, and we have it on our website, right?
Yes, we do.
And then we have just the paper form, but there are criteria that we expect from the farmers, right? So they provide all their information as far as the farm location and the types of crops they're growing and all that. But we also require a certification for the core for pesticide use. And then we also stipulate that we can come to their farm and inspect their farming areas to ensure compliance with our standards of, basically just cleanliness and other food security issues. We make sure that we comply with all of that. So those are the things that we expect from the farmer when we bring them into our co-op.
And we're also encouraging them to practice some conservation practices, such as like drip hose irrigation and mulching, windbreakers. Right. We're also encouraging our farmers to do that. We are, however, in the process of developing our web design, our website. So we don't have one right now, but we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram. And we do plan to put our application online once we get our website up and going.
Got it.
What's your Facebook profile, your name? Is it Farmers?
The Farm Cooperative Association.
For the complete interview, head over to the KUAM News YouTube site. Coming up, your Cold Stone Creamery birthday shoutouts. Don't go away.
When you want to make the most of your time, waiting in line should be last on your mind. Introducing Skip Lino, the most convenient way to visit Docomo Pacific. Simply download the Skip Lino app on your device, set your region to Guam or Northern Mariana Islands, find Docomo Pacific, and select the location you'd like to visit. Spend less time in line and more time with the people who matter most with the Skip Lino app. Can't wait to see you soon. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Taco Bell's new grilled cheese burrito is filled with nacho cheese sauce and a delicious 3-cheese blend. And even more melty cheese is grilled on top. Introducing Taco Bell's grilled cheese burrito box. Order ahead and pick yours up at our contactless drive-thru.
And before we close out the news, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Hump Day is a great day to have a birthday, so happy birthday to Justin D. Quintanilla, wishing you the very best on your special day. Maria Blas, happy birthday number 85 to our special mama, grandma, and great-grandma. Continue to drive us crazy and make us laugh. We love you beyond words. Happy birthday to Zion Vincent Pakaigui. Happy big one to our handsome Zion, a.k.a. Little VJ. May your guardian angel daddy in heaven continue to watch over you. Lots of birthday love from Angel Daddy, Mommy, Nina Devi, Nino Dern, Nino Jun, Auntie Kim, and most especially from your big sissies, Demani and Zairi. We love you, boy. That is awesome. Happy belated birthday wishes going out to Kainoa Javier, who was born on the 4th. Happy birthday to this 8-year-old superhero, Kainoa Ryan Del Rosario Javier. And Matthew Javier, who was born on the 2nd. Happy birthday number 28 coming from your family. Happy birthday, everyone.
And to be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club, all you got to do is register online on KUAM.com. That's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be safe out there.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Half a day, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm